Hello everyone, Monon here. Today I bring you, I would say, the most important multiverse video you can see. Basically, what should you buy, right? If you actually wanna support the game and buy maybe one of the package deals, right? Or Gleamium straight up, what is the actually most value per dollar? And I will say immediately here, I like this game a lot, right? I love the game, it's like 50 hours now in 1 week, but these deals are terrible, okay? Let's break it down, and this is going to be a very serious video, right? In the sense that I have done a spreadsheet, and it's going to be all math and so on, so get all this fun stuff. Links below for the actual spreadsheet, but before we go into that, I'll give you the quick kind of summary, right? So all the deals are pretty terrible. The premium deal is insanely bad. It's actually as bad dollar cost as a deluxe deal, even though it costs $40 more, which I think is crazy bad. It is arguably better just buying Gleamium. You can buy 12,000 Gleamium, right, for the same amount of money. That is 50 euros, $60, whatever, right, for the same amount of money. What you get if you buy the premium deal is this golden thing on your name, and you get the toasting. So there's a little extra value, but arguably not much more. And buying the battle pass is super cheap compared to what skin costs, right? So the current battle pass is 300 glem. Next is going to be 950, according to the director on Twitter. And so for 300 then you get, 2 skins and so on. So maybe get the skin you want, but yeah, the actual battle pass dollar cost is incredibly cheap compared to buying skins. Before we go into the actual nitty gritty, right, I just want to say this thing here, right? I worked with the game industry for like over 10 years, right? I worked probably like 3 or 4 years with free-to-play games. And if I like a game, I want to support the game, right? So I had, from a mental standpoint, already prepared myself to buy the $100 thing. Like, I like the game a lot, so I was like, okay, you know what, I played the game a lot the last days, let's go and buy the $100 deal, right? I was like, let's go and buy that, probably. For example, the Guilty Gear Strife was out, I immediately bought the deluxe for that, right, the $80 bill. So I was like, whatever, I'm gonna buy that. I got a job, whatever, I little bit of the game. So I got to the page, right, I showed you earlier, the founder package, premium deal and so on. And I immediately was like, seems awfully weird, Like, it's immediate, my immediate reaction was like, that sounds like a terrible deal. It's a bunch of tokens, a bunch of character tokens, and then a little Gleamium. Like, I mean, again, I don't mind, I want to put that before I really like the game, right? So I don't mind spending like $100, or €100, whatever, right? We have the same currency now, whatever, right? $100, for the game, right? I don't mind that, but when I actually saw what I get, right, then I'm just like, this feels weird, bro. That's why I felt I had to do this spreadsheet, because I was really like, this can't be right. This seems really terrible. And when I did a spreadsheet, I also started thinking that the battle pass are probably going to cost more than 1,000 Gleamium. That was the rumor was. But then the director on Twitter was like, it's cost 950 Gleamium, which makes the premium deal even worse, right? Because the premium deal gives you 2 battle passes. So you would imagine that the battle pass would be at least like $20, given the premium package deal. But it isn't. So, we can break it down now, but I can say here briefly again, right? The premium deal is basically per dollar cost for Gleamium equally as expensive as the deluxe package deal, which means that you don't get any discount from paying $100. And that to me is really weird. Right? So like I said, I've worked with this stuff for a few years, and that I have to say I'm just very disappointed in, right? Because it's not about that I don't want to spend $100, right? But if I spend $100, I should get a better discount. Like any kind of gaming or any, any item I buy, right? If I buy 5 of these, I want to get a discount. I want to, if I buy more, I would expect the Gleamium per dollar deal to be better, right? But it isn't. And the deluxe package deal, it is almost as bad as the founder package deal. So there's basically no discount at all, more or less, not discount at all, buying the more one. But actually, yeah, the deluxe package deal, again, it's actually better than the $100 deal. So the $60 deal is actually the best one per dollar cost-wise. And that to me is just really, really extreme. And I'll say it here before I even talk about it again. Doing this math, I have calculated using the tokens are worth 700 Gleamium, right? And if you ignore that, because you can actually unlock characters with gold, you don't have to actually buy the characters, then of course all the packages are terrible. Yeah, the packages are really bad, right? Because what they should give you is probably a lot more Gleamium, right? And the character tokens isn't that interesting. And I'll say the last thing before we get into nitty-gritty is that perhaps the package deals are better than what they look to be if they release a lot of characters very quickly, right? Because right now you can definitely farm the characters, So I made 2 different lists, right? One if you want tokens or not. But yeah, if they release like 30 more characters tomorrow, then the deal is good, because you need to, if you want to play all the characters immediately, right? But otherwise, you can kind of unlock the characters with just playing the game. So these are really terrible. But anyway, let's get into the details. Okay, so it's better buying the actual Gleamium probably. But anyway, here's the list. And what I've done, of course, I put up the different package deals, right? What it costs, $40, $60, $100. And then you have the Gleamium, so you can buy, 450 Gleamium to dupe, and it costs $5 and $50, right? So immediately, as I mentioned earlier, right, you can buy 2, or for one, whatever, but let's say for the same price, right? Let's say you buy 2 $50 Gleamium, right? That is 12,000 Gleamium then, of course, for $100. So that's 120, Gleamium, right? Or per dollar. But you get 263 Gleamium for the premium package, so it looks a lot better, right? However, you see this blue thing here, and we can of course scroll further on here. These values here are all based, right, on the tokens are actually worth Gleamium, right? So to speak, you actually want to use every token to unlock characters, which you probably won't, right? Because before I even bought anything in this game, I already unlocked half the characters I was playing the game, right? So if I would buy this deal like now, I will have like, what, 20 tokens left I can't use, right? And eventually I can use them, of course, but it's kind of thing, right? You don't need to buy characters. So this is the deal you see here, and if you go down to the right here, and we look at, this is then Gleamium per dollar, and tokens have no value, because you can use unlocked characters, right? Then obviously, the first package deal is worth 0 per dollar wise, because it only gives you a bunch of tokens, right? Which is really useless, actually, in that sense. And then it's 25, 16. So I think immediately here, right, you can see that the Gleamium deal per package deal is just terrible, right? So this package deal, the deluxe one, gives you it's a few Gleamium, right? For $60, and this gives you to $500. So it's very few Gleamium. If the Gleamium was a lot better, they would be better, right? It would be way better, And then you get this is much Gleamium you get there. And this is free Gleamium then, right? Like Gleamium you can use pay in the store, right? So basically, if you talk about pro skin wise, right? If you buy the premium deal, you can buy like 1 skin, okay? Because the skins are very expensive. Let's go on. Skins are very expensive, right? It's like 2,000 Gleamium, so $20 per skin basically, right? And as I mentioned earlier, the battle pass of course gives you specific skins, but yes, the battle pass comparably to buying skins are very, very cheap. You get 2 skins for that one right now, and it's like $3, right? And the next one is going to be 9.5, or it's like $10, and you get probably at least twice as many skins. It's like 4 skins or whatever. So the battle pass, economically wise, is much better, right? Okay, if you want the skins, preferably the rest you want. But anyways, if we go into the actual nitty-gritty here, right? So what I've done here is that I've done the calculations here, right? So first, we look at how much Gleamium you get, right? Per cost price. And then how many tokens you get. And you also get battle pass, right? So one thing here, and I said it immediately, right? This is also good making these kind of spreadsheets, because if I now get a new value, because of course I've written little scripts here, right? So if I get a new value, if the update say, oh, a battle pass is actually worth $20 now, then I can easily update the spreadsheet, right? And it gives me the new values. So it's always I recommend doing this stuff. But anyway, the thing is that you can see here is that here's kind of the good breakdown, right? This quarter here, this is a good breakdown here. So Gleamium 0, right? Again for the basic deal, 1,000 to 500, right? And then the tokens, and here you get the pure is buying Gleamium, right? And tokens, and then battle pass. So okay, what does it tell us then? Well, basically, right, the difference here is $40, right? $40 difference here. So that's you get 1,500 Gleamium for that. That's basically like $15, arguably speaking, right? It's a little cheaper than buying here. But it's okay, so $15 you cannot get for buying the bigger one. Okay, fine, let's just argue for that. It's like $100, whatever, like 100 gem per thing. Okay, fine. And then you get 10 tokens, right? And 2 battle pass. A battle pass, this is what I meant here. A battle pass earlier, right? I felt that a battle pass was going to be more expensive, because a battle pass, when you look at this sheet, you would imagine that the battle pass would cost more than $10, because Otherwise, getting 2 battle passes and 10 tokens seems really bad, $40. But no, it's only $10. So the basically breakdown you get right is that, okay, so you get $15 of Gleamium, $20 of battle pass. That is like 35, right? So you're still losing out money because tokens are basically useless, right? In the end, so you're like losing money buying. Yeah, you're losing. This kind of see here. You can see it immediately. Yeah, you're losing money, you know, buying the deluxe package, right? You do of course get a little cooler icon and so on, but basically, right, you're losing money. It's only if you assume the Gleamium tokens buying characters is so important, but it really isn't right now. And I have a very hard time seeing that, right? You don't need extra 10. So I immediately probably think that if you get like, thing is that even if you got like 40 more, you know, like 20, let's say you get 40 instead, character tokens or whatever, right? It wouldn't be that much better anyway. What you should get is more Gleamium, right? Or maybe more battle passes. But it's kind of the same thing, right? Because a battle pass is worth like 100 Gleamium. So it's, or 1,000 Gleamium, sorry, 1,000, yeah, 1,000 Gleamium. So it's kind of like, no, I either get more Gleamium, probably more Gleamium, right? And, or more battle passes. But yeah, it's just like, I can see here immediately in my head that this is a bad deal buying this for 40 more bucks, right? It really is. And of course, if you look at these prices, you can buy more Gleaming and extra, right? It's actually less valuable because you will buy 2 of those and you get more money. But anyway, if you go over here, you can look at different breakdown. This is how much, you know, Gleamium you get, right? Given that it's worth 700 to buy it right now, you just multiply with 7, you know, take this list and so on. And then you can bring it to here. And then we see here, we got it more right. And then end right, we get kind of like the maximum value of Gleamium. Here's the battle pass value. So this is calculated by 950, and this is what I mean, right? When I made this list, I felt that I assumed this one's gonna be more than 1,000. I heard 1,000 was gonna be the thing first, but then looking at Twitter and so on from the director, he said it was 950. It's even cheaper, right? So that's like, you know, makes it even less valuable, and that actually means, so see, I already have my old text there, yeah, and that means that. Basically it's even less worth, right? Because again, when I first did my list, I was like, oh, it's probably 1,000, right? But no, it's worth 950, which means that it's actually worth 150 Gleamium less. Yeah, it's even worth 150. There's not much money, right? But it's like $1.5 less valuable. That's what it's gonna be. And then you get the banner ring out, and you know you get the gold name. That's what the early, right? So at the end of the day, we go back to the first thing here, right? This is probably the most important to look at. So I can maybe somehow. So we go back here, right? We can look at the total value again, and this is the important list, right? They have under me here. So founder package, $262, given 700 token and 950 battle pass, right? 65, it's only $3, yeah, and it's a 3, right? So this is just how terrible it is. Yeah, it's how terrible it is, right? But this value though, this total value here, right? This probably be a little higher. So I can show you here, right? If battle pass actually was worth more, and I can show you here, right? If battle pass actually was worth more value, let's say battle pass was worth 2,000, right? Which can I assume it should have been worth. There will be 6,000 here. I'm doing this very manually, and bam, and then you would go over here, right? Go back again. Now this value would look a lot better, right? Yeah. Now it would immediately look a lot better. Now the Gleamium here would be higher. Now the premium deal would be better, right? And the package, the deluxe package deal would also be better, and they would actually kind of get away from, you know, the founder package deal, right? So that's always what I assumed before I, you know, read a tweet that no, it's actually worth less, right? Because now they actually kind of spike them up a bit, right? We were much more valuable actually, but no, they were like nothing. They're so cheap, so it's really terrible, honestly. So to bring it back into these deals, right? I just kind of feel like, honestly, I mean, unless you really want that golden play thing, right, or whatever, and you, I don't know, not play the game that much, I love to catch something. It does kind of feel like just buying Gleamium is a better deal, like straight up, right? Because if you buy Gleamium, let's say you buy Gleamium, the biggest one, then so you buy 6,000 Gleamium, right, for 50, that gives you 6 battle passes, right? While if you buy the $100 deal, you get 3 battle passes and 2,500. That's like 5.5. So you basically get also, you know, 5.5 battle pass, right? So there's more or less the same battle pass. However, that costs $50, and the order costs you $100, right? So yeah, I mean, for the same value, right, you get of course 12 battle passes, right? If you buy $100 pure Gleamium, so that just sounds way better to me, right? And again, right, if you buy the deluxe package deal, you get 1 battle pass and use 1,000 Gleams. That's like 2 battle passes. Yeah, it's like 2 battle passes and a bunch of characters tokens. Of course, you think about here, right, that we're all kind of assuming that buying characters is kind of useless, right? Buying characters is pretty bad because buying characters are something you can buy with gold. But I'll say it here again, right? Even if we assume that you want to use all your character tokens, which I very much doubt, right? I very much doubt that, because if I would buy the premium package right now, I have like almost, you know, I have the characters anyway. Yeah, like what would I use the token for? It takes me like a few hours like characters, right? They have to, as I mentioned earlier, they have to release so many characters that I wouldn't have time to grind them, just very little, right? So it feels very, very crazy to have the many tokens. All the package deals should give you more Gleamium skins, right, and less tokens, straight up, right? But especially then, the worst thing is that even if you want to use all the tokens, right, which gives them a value of 700 Gleamium, as I mentioned, right? 700 Gleamium if you want to use all tokens. Even if you want to use that, right, the premium deal, the premium package deal, is still less valuable than the deluxe one. That is crazy bad to me. So I'm disappointed. I really love the game. I was ported the game, but I'm very disappointed in that, because if you go back here again and look at this thing, right, this value here is so important to understand, that the deluxe package deal is still slightly better dollar average, right, than the premium package deal, even if you have even if you're gonna use every cat token, and that is a massive disadvantage, right, for this thing, right? That's just terrible. That is insanely terrible. And I look at the fund package deal, that is slightly used worse, right? And that to me again is like, if I'm gonna invest, right, or invest, but if I can buy something and I buy a lot of it, right? You know, I keep saying earlier, but this means like very anti-consumer, whatever they call it, right? It's kind of embarrassing balance, right? Because this is like, I keep saying it, but it really bugs me, right? Because everything else in the game is so good, but it's just like, so as this thing, I don't really mind that, you know, you have to pay like $20 for a skin, right? It's like legal or whatever. Yeah, okay, sure, fine, whatever. Right? But if I'm gonna buy this, like, you know, package deal, right? I assume that the package deal should actually be more valuable than buying the separate pieces, right? Like for always, right? Like whenever you go and buy in the store, if I buy the whole this thing, right, I expect this to be like some kind of discount, or, you know, it's like buy 3, pay for 2, whatever. Yeah, I expect it to be some kind of, you know, advantage, right, buying the whole set immediately. But it isn't. In this thing here, it's actually it is not cheaper to buy everything, so to speak. That's a terrible deal. And like I said, you know, this is cheap. This is the best deal. And these are basically the same. So there's like no discount buying $60 or $100 deal, right? Where if you look at this, buying pure Gleamium, you get the basic discount, right? You know, it's like, if you buy pure Gleamium, you get a 10%, 5% discount per step, right? But they haven't used it here, right? They haven't used it here. So it's just really bad math. It's really cheap, honestly, right? Of course, in the end, I have to say again, right, just to be fair, you will have to value in that golden plate and like the ring out or whatever, right? The VFX and the ring out. So I guess you could argue, say that yes, the dollar value here is actually $2 less value than that one is, but you also get that gold plate and the VFX, and I guess they might be worth like a few bucks. So maybe it's slightly better, but you know what I mean? It is very, very minuscule. This should probably say something like 300, right? This value here should say something like 300, right? But to say that value 300 here, we have to say 3,000 here, right? If we have 30,000, would have to be valued there, and to get there, you would have the battle pass. You probably have to, as I mentioned, $20, and you probably, or you have to get more Gleamium, right? And I think the easy way to fix this thing, if I was working on this thing out, and there are complaints, but people probably buy it anyway, is of course to just give more Gleamium, right? If the premium package was exactly like it was, but it was giving you maybe, let's say, 5,000 Gleamium, whatever, right? Something like that, 4,000 maybe. Then if it was like 5,000 Gleamium, then it'd be a no-brainer. And you can argue that, but who's gonna buy this thing then, the pure Gleamium? Well, the thing is that if people are willing to buy the premium package, they're probably also willing to buy, you know, the standalone Gleamium as well, right? So yeah, I think definitely all these, especially these two deals, should be way better. And then, you know, you get people hooked, right? They like the game, then you're gonna buy this thing anyway. The whales are gonna buy it anyway, right? So right now, I'm disappointed because I think a lot of people that are in the industry, you talk about different stuff, you talk about whales and Kraken and all this stuff, right? Some of you just call it ABC users. So if you just call it, for example, the ABC users, it's the last thing I say here. So A users are people who play the game, right? And they never buy anything. And B users are people that buy like once or twice, right? And they will buy like one thing, right? And C are like the people that buy every week or whatever. Very, very simple breakdown here, right? What the issue with this thing here, from a pure design standpoint, is that the C users, kind of the whale or the kraken or whatever, in this case, then, right, the pre-game, they will probably buy this thing and this thing several times, right? It doesn't really matter for them, right? They want the gold plate and they want to buy all this stuff, okay, whatever. What I think this hurts a lot is that kind of B user, right? And I'm kind of that B user in these games, right? I don't buy them as skins so on, but I wanna, you know, I like the video game a lot, so I wanna like support them once. Yeah, I wanna buy like, you know, I wanna buy one package deal, right? I wanna buy, and as I said at the beginning of the video, I was willing to buy the $100. You know, I'm willing to support the game. I'm willing to buy the $100 video, the $100 thing, right? Now, until I see how terrible it is, because I immediately reacted, said, "No, this is terrible. This seems really off. Let's do the math. Yeah, it's terrible." So they're losing out me as a B user, right? A B consumer. And you should talk about ABC, and you want to make the B go to C, or vice versa. Something an A is a good one, whatever. But yeah, usually we talk about ABC users. The goal is to get that B user to be a C user, right? Or vice versa if A is a good thing, or whatever. Yeah, basically, the person that buys every now and then to get them to buy every week, kind of thing. That's what you want, right? But yeah, like, but this, I think you lose out on so many people like me then that are willing to maybe, again, buy one package deal once, right? Because now I'm looking at the value, I'm like, oh, it's terrible. So it's like, oh, I don't want to support this. Like, maybe I buy this thing instead and just buy the bet passes probably, yeah. So it is, but that's the math. I hope you liked the video. Yeah, the deals are really, really terrible. They're really hurting on those users that pay like once or twice, right? They want to buy like, give me this thing and so on. And I really wanted to break it down, right, for details. And I really wanted to like go into the details and really look at it and say, yeah, this is really terrible. Because my immediate gut feeling was that it was absolute shit, right? When I saw it, as I said, I was like, no, this looks weird. This looks really weird. And I mean, generally speaking, right, either more Gleamium or like reduce the goddamn tokens. It's way too many tokens, right? And instead give some Gleamium skins or whatever, right? I mean, even the founder package just gives a lot of tokens. It's pretty boring, right? Even that one could have been like half the many tokens and then, you know, some more stuff, yeah. And so on, right? It's just tokens aren't that much valuable. They really aren't. And again, even if they were, that's the worst. And I don't break, but let's not forget that. Even if tokens are as valuable as a count 700, right? The still is no discount, yeah. Even if tokens are valuable for 700, you don't gain any discount buying them. That's a terrible consumer thing. That's terrible consumer, right? There should still be a discount regardless. So that's really terrible. But I hope you liked the video, guys. Please subscribe, press the like button if you liked the video, right? Please support the channel. And have a good one. See you guys in the next video.